Last year, won't say a down year, but 23 touchdowns to 14 picks. Tennessee had to go out and get a quarterback.
I think Joey Aguilar, unlike Nico Iamaleava, is a guy that can do more with less. Coming in at our number 21 spot, the Tennessee Volunteers pretty much flip quarterbacks. Transfers, Nico Iamaleava goes to UCLA. Joey Aguilar comes from UCLA to Tennessee. Tennessee picks up Joey Aguilar, who has vast experience in college football, specifically very close to Tennessee at App State. He kind of thrives in a market like the Southeast, in my opinion. Brad, I know it's kind of a wishy-washy intro. The whole story was wishy-washy. Everything about this storyline was wishy-washy. But here we stand. In May, Tennessee's got their new guy, Joey Aguilar. What can the Tennessee fans expect from this guy?
This one's interesting to me. And I'll admit, I've definitely, kept up with App State. I don't know that I've watched them super closely, but he's put up good numbers in it. His 2 years at Boone. 2023 is really one that stands out to me. 33 touchdowns to just 10 picks, and then last year, won't say a down year, but 23 touchdowns to 14 picks. So a guy that has maybe had a little bit of trouble, taking care of the football at times. 24 interceptions in 2 years, not a terrible ratio, but not something that. I think something you want to improve on. Look, in the SEC, this is no secret. You're going to be going up against faster, more explosive defensive backs. So I think that's something that that kind of catches my eye a little bit. Nate, my big question is, and this is kind of twofold: is Joey Aguilar? How does he fit into this? Tennessee offense? Of course, with the wide splits and. They're going to go with some quick game stuff, and some RPO stuff, but they're also, you remember Hendon Hooker, and then Nico. They like to take their shots downfield, and so is he a guy that has he got the accuracy, and does he have the arm to really push the ball downfield? On the flip side, that is, what does Tennessee look like? In the for his weapons. Of course, one of the big things, and we're not going to get into this, but one of the reasons Nico was frustrated is the lack of weapons that Tennessee brought in. And to me, no disrespect towards Joey Aguilar, but definitely a guy that I think you got to put a lot of weapons around him. So it's an interesting fit. Tennessee had to go out and get a quarterback. And talking to some Tennessee fans, they're high on Jake Merklinger. They're high on George McIntyre. But McIntyre's a true freshman, and Merklinger is, I believe, a redshirt. So two guys that have not played a ton at Tennessee. They've been in the system. But this is an interesting quarterback battle. Final takeaway is no Dylan Sampson either. So there's a lot of question marks with this Tennessee offense.
I think if there's one takeaway that I've learned about this Tennessee team and with Joey Aguilar coming in, I think Joey Aguilar, unlike Nico Iamaleava, is a guy that can do more with less. We saw him play at App State. He did not have 4 or 5 star wide receivers running around that field, and yet he was still able to produce 33 touchdowns and and I don't know how many picks you said, but he has the capability to throw it. He's got a strong arm. He can throw at every angle. He can extend plays. To me, this is a great comparison in my opinion. It reminds me of a guy like Jacoby Brissett, kind of a career backup guy, which is not necessarily a bad thing in the NFL. But I think he is a guy that can have a strong start. And one other thing I want to mention off the record, this isn't even in my notes, I like his confidence. Here's a guy who started out at App State, went to UCLA to prove himself. Now he's like, you know what? I'm going to go prove myself in the SEC. Not many guys out there want to do that, Brad.
Yeah.
Contrary to belief, there's not a lot of guys that are willing to step up and say, you know what, I'll raise my hand. I'll go get hit by that Georgia defensive line. I'll go get hit by that Alabama defensive line. It's not fun. It is not fun. Right. And I'm interested to see what Joey Aguilar does this year, but I like his confidence, Brad.
Yeah, this is an interesting one to me. It did sound like obviously he was going out to UCLA. He was going to, of course, he was going to be the starter. and then ends up coming back, and it's curious. I would love to hear from Tennessee fans down in the comments. Is he truly QB1, or is this an ongoing quarterback competition? That's the big question I have, because I think those two guys waiting in the wings behind him, and once again Merklinger and McIntyre, I think they're very, very talented. I'm curious to see what the fans in Knoxville in the state of Tennessee feel like who their QB1 is come August.
Well, I think there's a difference in this scenario between fanatics and fans. I think the fanatics believe at Tennessee that they can go win a national title this year. I think the fans realistically believe that they can win a good 8 games and have a great year. We're going to see, to your point. I think it will be a quarterback battle, and I think it could lead in halfway through the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the year to figure things out, because you got Joey Aguilar, but to your point, you got 2 young guys waiting in the wing. This is a developmental year, in my opinion, for Tennessee. They've got to go out next transfer portal cycle and really hit the market and get those key pieces that their young quarterbacks are going to need in the future.
And one final point that I will make is I think Josh Heupel is a very, 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 very bright offensive mind. I think you're going to see that this offense, they're going to adapt. That's one of the things I've been impressed with Heupel is he adapts very, very well to his personnel. And I think he's gonna adapt to what he's got to work with this year.
Absolutely, it's going to be intriguing to see. If you're a Tennessee Volunteers fan, what do you think about your new quarterback in Joey Aguilar? Is he QB1? Is it a consistent, constant quarterback battle heading into the fall? What are we going to see from the Vols this fall? Let us know down in the comments. Be sure to like this video, subscribe down below, and be sure to turn on the bell notifications so you can stay up to date when we post our latest content. We'll see you next week. It's time to break the huddle.